Hi everyone, welcome to Soul Strength Tarot. We're going to do the Mercury Retrograde videos for each sign. Mercury Retrograde is happening from February 17th to March 9th. My advice to you when you watch your video is to take notes, okay? Write down what comes through. One of the main cards that we're going to pull and then we're going to be talking about in your reading will be an archetype card. An archetype is a way of thinking. It is a pattern of thoughts, patterns of behavior, motivations that you apply in your everyday life. When I pull this card, the intention is that this is going to be something that serves you over the next 3 weeks as you move through whatever the events are that will unfold for you. Everyday events unfold in our lives, right? But this particular archetype is going to be a source of power for you. It's going to be something that makes your 3 weeks go smoother. It's going to be the type of energy that is going to grow you the most and the fastest in these 3 weeks. So Spirit will deliver whatever it is that you need to have in mind. So you're going to want to write that down. I'm going to pull some higher wisdom cards from the Rebecca Campbell decks. All right, so we have the Starseed deck and the Lightworker deck. And then we're going to be pulling tarot to get more specific themes. We're going to pull some angel messages and maybe a prayer card as well. We'll see what comes up. In each reading, it might be a little bit different because I do this based on one circumstance at a time. So we'll see what comes up, but you're going to want to take notes because the really cool thing, and it's something that I do in my own tarot practice, is that I write down what comes up in a reading. And then over the next 3 weeks, you're going to look at what you wrote down. You're going to, even just if you start each morning off, looking at what you wrote down, kind of have it fresh in your head so that as the day unfolds, you have these energies like ready to be used when necessary, right? Or when something shows up, when a situation arises, somebody says something to you, you kind of know, okay, this kind of goes with the themes this week. I'll embrace it, right? And you're going to operate from a higher perspective and a higher sense of self. And then when those 3 weeks are over, look back again at your notes and you'll really be able to actually pinpoint the situations and relationships that brought these moments in the cards to life in your everyday life. And it's really awesome to see how it shows up. It always shows up. So I think you'll have a lot of fun with that. So I invite you to take that opportunity to take notes as you listen to your reading. And I wish you a wonderful retrograde season with lots of growth, lots of good stuff. And it's nothing to be thinking of negatively, right? We hear Mercury retrograde and people tend to be like, oh my gosh, everything goes wonky. And in reality, that's not what retrograde is at all. It's really a time for us to go over some lessons that we need to go over because we're all learning all the time and none of us are getting it right all the time. And not only that, but as we evolve, we're going to revisit lessons that we've already been met with, challenges that we've already experienced, and we're going to now handle them from a higher version of ourselves, right? We're going to have more wisdom to apply. So Mercury retrograde is always kind of an opportunity to tie up loose ends, to revisit things that need your attention, and so apply the highest version of yourself to some old situations or old challenges that have come up for you in the past. So it's actually an awesome opportunity. So I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching. Hi Gemini, let's get started. We're going to start off with your archetype card for Mercury retrograde. This is going to be an energy that you are either working through or you're going to need to employ for yourself, okay? These are behavior patterns, thoughts, motivations, ways of thinking about yourself that will serve you, okay? And what I'm finding for the 2 signs that I've done before you is that these are really the energy that you're going to be working through, okay? So we're going to take a look at what comes up for you. We're going to talk about it from both the light and the shadow side of an archetype, which means what's going to serve you and your highest good would be the light side, and the shadow is what might hold you back, okay? Ways of thinking about yourself, ways of acting that might actually hold back your growth, hold back your success, make things not as smooth or as easy as you might want, okay? So I'm just going to finish shuffling here. And we'll see what shows up. This is a big deck. And I like to shuffle it a lot because there's 78 cards in this deck. And I just feel like I just shuffle till I feel like it. All right. Okay, so you are getting the Damsel, which ironically, out of 78 cards, it's the exact card, one of the exact cards that came up for Taurus if you have Taurus as a moon or as a rising sign, Geminis, this is definitely an important theme that you're working through. Okay, so the damsel in distress. Okay, so the really highest power of the damsel is recognizing that you can love to be in relationships. You can welcome the addition of somebody positive and beneficial into your life, but you don't need them. There's still self-sufficiency. You're not a damsel in distress that can't help herself or himself. You are a person who is fully capable of being independent and solving your own problems. You don't need to be rescued, okay? The dark side, the shadow side, and you can see they're both written on the top and the bottom. The shadow side of the damsel is being dependent on somebody else to solve your problems, okay? Waiting for a knight to provide for you. It's seduction by romantic illusion. You think, when I have the love of my life, when I have the perfect person, when I meet the one, when I meet my soulmate, everything will be better because they'll just solve all of my problems for me and I'm going to get rescued. That is not the energy that you want to be operating from. Although that sounds really great, that's just not the reality. All of us are here to grow. We are all here for the same purpose, and that's to grow into our highest version of ourselves. So you don't want to drain your power by thinking you need to give it to somebody else. Like, here, help me. Here's my problem. I can't do this myself. That's like literally draining your power and giving it away to somebody else. And you don't want to do that. You want to work in your life from a place of confidence and a place of really being able to trust in yourself and know that anything in your life is solvable by you, okay? And whatever is not solvable by you, you lean into spirit for, right? You pray for those answers. You don't look to another human being to save you, because you're always going to be looking to another human being to save you if that's the way that you operate, okay? Because life's challenges don't stop coming. So it's really important that you access that highest energy of, I love having you in my life. I don't need you to solve my problems, but I love having you here, right? That healthy relationship where it's just a relationship out of true connection and true love and true enjoyment of each other's company, not out of need, right? When we have a need, or a necessity for a person to be in our life, we have officially given our power to them. And that is just not going to get us anywhere, because what happens is, if that person's in a bad mood, it hurts our feelings. If that person doesn't want to be with us anymore, now what? We're brokenhearted. We're in pieces, right? Not that, in a healthy relationship, we're still going to be sad if it ends, but the perspective will be much more empowered of, I'm really sad that this ended. However, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to move on and my life will go on, and I'll miss you, but I'll be all right, right? There's a different energy to a damsel versus what would be, I'm not sure what archetype, I'm thinking like a queen. Okay, so something that's a more powerful energy of, I welcome you here. I want your presence in my life, but I don't need your presence in my life. There's a big difference, and you want to think about that. This Mercury retrograde, it came up for a reason. So I am going to pull some higher wisdom cards now from, this is the Starseed deck, and then we'll pull from the Lightworkers. All right. So far, and if you're writing this down, you want to have healthy relationships. You want to be, it's fine to want somebody. It's not okay to need somebody. So you really want to think about what that means to you. Think about the relationships in your life right now. If you're in a romantic relationship, what level of power are you giving to the person that you're with, okay? All right, big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary and inspired ideas. So this is coming up, big pictured thinking. This is visualizing. This is about dreaming and planning and what do you want? Let's step out of this day-to-day moment and step into a much bigger perspective on our life. All right, so Gemini, you are being called to really think about what inspires you. What do you love? What is maybe some goals that you want to set for yourself? Mercury retrograde is definitely typically a time of introspection. So maybe you're going to Make a list of some goals that you have for yourself or some dreams. Do you want to travel to certain places? Do you envision your perfect relationship to be a certain way, right? So like maybe you're going to make a list. If this is because we have this damsel card coming up, maybe we're going to make a list of your perfect partner, a partner who makes you feel, and then you're going to list out all the feelings that the partner makes you feel. A partner who communicates a certain way, a partner who is very into certain things, just like you, right? Shared common interests. So you're really going to start to tap into what would your heart really want. And you can just see, like, you know, there's this reflection pool in there. There's that archway going into something new. So I feel like this is calling for self-reflection, all right? And understanding that you are probably going to have something new coming up ahead of you, because we have that doorway, that archway into something new. But I think it's going to take a little bit of your attention, right? So we're not going to focus on somebody in your life who drains your power and makes you worry and makes you feel like you need them, or who, you know, maybe your happiness up until this point has been dependent on somebody, right? Because maybe the distress you feel is a lack of attention. And that's, you know, that's uncomfortable, and nobody likes that feeling. We've all been there. But if you recognize, you know, if he or she doesn't call me or doesn't text or doesn't want to hang out, like when that really, really affects you and really brings you down, you are giving so much of your power to that other person, and it is just not healthy. So you want to spend some time self-reflecting and thinking about, what do these people actually really contribute to your life? Are they contributing what you think they're contributing? Are they making you happy, or are they making you stressed more than happy? What are they really bringing to your life? Because if you are stuck right now in a relationship that causes you a lot of stress, do a really honest self-inventory, because you might not be in the relationship that you think you're in. You might have the rose-colored glasses of what you wish it was, but what's your reality? Okay? I think you have, I definitely think you're being called to do some self-reflection here. All right. Next up, we have the Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Okay. So this is like, absolutely, you know, I just said a couple minutes ago, what's the opposite of a damsel in distress? I'm going to go with the Priestess. Right? A damsel relies on somebody else to save her, to make her decisions, to have the solutions, to come in and swoop her away and figure it all out and deal with the messy stuff. The Priestess is like, sit down, I got this, okay? The Priestess is an energy of absolute leadership and trust in herself. She needs nobody else, okay? So the Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? So what does this mean for you? What are you being called to step up and lead? In what way? Is it being a leader in your family? Is it being a leader just in your own life? Is it making some decisions that will empower you? It's really taking back your power. The Priestess energy is so self-assured. A priestess is connected to her inner wisdom, and she does not operate from a place of self-doubt, whereas the damsel most certainly does, right? A damsel, excuse me, is operating from a lack of self-confidence in her own belief system. A priestess is the total opposite. So you are definitely being delivered this message of really trusting in yourself. Write that down, okay? You are going to be doing some self-reflection, honest self-reflection. You are going to start to trust in yourself more than anybody else. That comes to, you know, manifesting your happiness, creating your life the way that you want it to be. Really trusting that you're able to have all that you want to have, and that you don't need anybody else to bring that to you, okay? And what's going to happen is when you access that priestess energy, all the things that you're looking for, they're going to show up anyway. All right. And maybe it's going to show up in a different person that you're not even expecting, but that's what happens. See, when we elevate our energy, we become a magnet. People notice that. People pick up on that. When we operate from a really high sense of self and self-esteem, that is attention getting. Like people are like, wow, you're going to wind up having the opportunities that you're looking for and having the connections that you're looking for because you're no longer going to need them. Okay. That's what's so powerful and so awesome about this, is that everything shifts when we shift on the inside. And just like I told the last reading, this is an inside job, this Mercury retrograde. This is about you. You don't have to say anything or do anything with anybody else. You don't have to make any big decisions. This is a time of reflection for you, because this is for you, right? Mercury goes into retrograde and everything kind of slows down on a soul level, because we all need to step back and evaluate things. And for you, you're evaluating your role in your relationships and your esteem system and how that's playing a part in your relationships. Okay. Where are you giving up your power, and how are you going to take that back? What mindset are you going to employ to take your power back? Okay, so we have so far the Judgment card coming up, the Ten of Swords reverse, the King of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Temperance in reverse, and the Four of Coins. All right, so we'll talk about what these mean. So this Judgment card, this is like almost the end of a journey, okay? So this Judgment card, I don't know if you could see it very well, but it's like the angels blowing the trumpets, celebrating. This is the number 20 in the tarot. This is just about at the end of the archetypical journey that brings us to the world, okay, where we start a new chapter. So this is like you are coming to the end of a lesson, all right? There's something that you have been working through. It is going to end in a good, positive way for you. Then we have this Ten of Swords, which also is an ending, but it came up reversed. Now, the Ten of Swords represents just being absolutely defeated, absolutely exhausted. You know, the swords are going into the back and being bound up. It's like, you know, I'm done. Okay. This, whatever the situation is, has beaten me up emotionally and mentally. I can't take it anymore. I am done. And we have this is coming through in the reverse. If there is something that needs to be done that you're holding back on because you're clinging to it, like let's say there's this relationship that is unhealthy, okay? It's making, it's draining your power. It is making you very stressed and upset, maybe heartbroken, helpless to change. But yet there's this idea coming through with this reversal of like, you're not totally ready to let go of that yet. So even though this relationship may have you here feeling like totally stabbed in the back, hurt, defeated, exhausted, you're not totally ready for it to be done, okay? But it has to be done, all right? Because the Judgment card is coming up of like, this has to be done, all right? This is over with. You need to see this from a bigger perspective. We need the bigger picture thinking, all right? We have the King of Swords coming up next. The King of Swords is absolutely the most effective at communication. He can use his words. He can use his power fairly. He can communicate with wisdom and strength and authority. He is no joke. He doesn't beat around the bush. He speaks what needs to be said, okay? He will call people out if he has to. He will make the decisions that have to be made because he is a place of power. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing this reversal, this Ten of Swords, being surrounded by Judgment and the King of Swords. So to me, this is like very much like, notice how this angel is facing in that direction and this king is just sitting there. It's like looking at this person who has potentially just been unfair to you, right? This person who is like just causing a lot of grief in your life. Something needs to be said, all right, to really kind of cut the cords that you have attached to this person, because I think that you do. I think that there's some emotional connection here that is very hard for you. You have the Five of Cups coming up. This is the sadness and grief card, all right? You could see she's just sitting there feeling sad. That's what this is doing to you. All right, that's what this, here, that damsel energy, right? Like being helpless, like she's sitting in here by herself and just really overwhelmed with her own emotions. And that needs to end, all right? So I feel like you're going to be working through maybe having the courage to say something. And this might be where that Priestess card is coming up, right? Because with this King of Swords, he says what needs to be said. And it's saying, how are you going to step up and lead? Are you going to have a conversation that needs to be had? Are you going to make a decision that's going to start to help you move on from this Five of Cups sadness? You have Temperance coming up reversed, all right? And so with the Temperance card, you can see, first of all, Temperance means patience. But what I love about this particular deck is the way she has the light going from one hand to the other. This is working with spirit, understanding that there's an alchemy at work of timing, and that spirit has you, and that there are shifting emotions, okay? She's holding up those cups. Cups represent emotions in the tarot. So it's like this changing and shifting of the emotions. It's changing the emotional energy in a situation. But yet yours is coming up reversed, okay? And it's coming up reversed right underneath this 10 of Swords. So again, kind of showing me there's this stuck energy I don't want to let go. Like, we need to get past this so that Temperance also can go into effect, so that transmutation of really negative energy and really like extreme sadness or helplessness or suffering needs to be done. But yet we're like clinging to it a little bit here. The Four of Coins is the last card that came up. The Four of Coins is really representative of taking stock and inventory of where you at now, okay? You're about to start planning the next leg of your journey. You have the coins that you've accumulated. You have your abundance. You have your things. You have your material things. You have your job. You have your skills. You have your talents. You have the stuff that you've learned along the way. Now what? All right? What are you going to do with it? It's kind of like this planning of, here's my stuff. Now what's my next move? Okay, this is what I've accumulated on my journey. What's my next move? So I feel like potentially maybe there's a hesitation to let go of somebody who's putting you in this damsel situation because it is going to require you to rely on yourself, right? We know a damsel, the highest version of a damsel, the light side of this is self-sufficiency. And that does come through with the Four of Coins, is having you being able to manifest what you need. All right. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards on this because I want to get a little bit more clarity. But I think during this Mercury retrograde, you guys are going to be working on your mindset around a relationship. What is your level of dependence on somebody else? What are they really bringing to your life? Because when you can see the truth of what they're bringing to your life or not bringing to your life, okay, if they're bringing a lot of stress but not a lot of good stuff, not a lot of reward, you have to really like see that and confront that, okay, so that you could release it. Because the longer you cling to it, the longer you hold on to this relationship, it needs to be let go of, right? So Temperance would normally mean patience, but in the reversed, it's like it's done. Like, you don't need to use patience. You don't need to wait. Just let go. Let go of the sadness. Let go of the relationship if it's not serving you. And I think you're going to be the leader of your own life. So I think this is going to be a time of really, truly just wrapping your head around the idea of taking your power back from a relationship that is not satisfying you or serving you in the way that you deserve. And I think maybe going out on your own is going to be the answer. We're going to get a little more clarity on this. So I'm going to pull for this 10 of Swords. I definitely think with that Judgment card coming up, this is done. All right. So we're getting the Six of Swords and the Queen of Wands and this Temperance. We're getting the Tower and the Five of Cups again. Okay. All right. So with this 10 of Swords, remember that stabbing in the back pain, okay? We're getting the Six of Swords, travel, be done with it, move on, okay? The Six of Swords is take yourself, take your ideas, take all of you and move on, all right? This situation that has caused this level of pain and discomfort for you and stress, you need to go, all right? You're done. You're done with it. And you're also getting with that the Queen of Wands. She is a go-getter. She is like I know what I want and I'm going to go achieve it now. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to head in that direction. Nothing needs to stop me. Nothing can stop me because I operate from a place of fire and passion. All right. So the Queen of Wands knows exactly what she wants and she goes for it. So you're getting the Six of Swords. Leave, be done with it, take the journey. You're heading someplace new. You're heading to this Queen of Wands energy, okay? You're heading to a much more empowered state. And again, that's what we know for this Mercury retrograde is you are working on empowerment, all right? So you are leaving that relationship, if that's what this all is, and you are definitely moving into a place that is way more empowered for yourself. Now, for this Temperance reversed, like we're not waiting around anymore for this. You got the Tower, and you got the Five of Cups again, okay? So this has to be done. This Five of Cups twice, okay? Five of Cups sadness is coming through for you guys, all right? And then we have this no more waiting, end it. The Tower is an ending. The Tower is literally an ending, and guess what? Spirit might end it for you, because if you are clinging so much to what is familiar in this sadness, it might wind up ending in a different way, okay? But I think Spirit really is giving you the advice that you need to do the ending, all right? You're the one that needs to say what needs to be said, okay? So this sadness that you feel can end, and it will end when you step up and you step into your power and you love yourself more than you love anybody else, and you say whatever you need to say, okay? Because this is an unhealthy relationship right here. This is, you know, a lot of pain. It's a lot of sadness. It's a sense of loss and a sense of helplessness. And, you know, a damsel feels helpless, right? This is what you're working through. You need to work through this sense of helplessness. You are not helpless, all right? We'll pull a couple more cards on this King of Swords and this Four of Coins, because these are not helpless cards, all right? So while we're seeing this situation, we understand what the situation is making you feel. You're not helpless, okay? So not for 1 second should you ever feel that or think that about yourself. You are a force to be reckoned with. You are powerful. You can do whatever you want. But it all comes down to you making that decision of tapping into your power, tapping into that priestess energy, okay? Tapping into that Queen of Wands, King of Swords. You have all these powerful totems coming through, all right? So you have the Three of Wands coming up reversed for the King of Swords. And you have the Page of Swords coming up. All right, so in terms of this King of Swords energy of like being able to use your power to your advantage and really express yourself, say what needs to be said, call somebody out if that's what has to happen, okay? With this Three of Wands card, she, you know, normally the Three of Wands, she's, you know, about to set out on a journey, right? She's standing on the rock. She's got her wand. She's got her bird, and she is about to head off in a new direction, but yet it's coming up reversed. And so is this Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is, kind of, to me, this is the relationship energy. This is potentially somebody who is sneaky, somebody who is reckless with their words, somebody who is hurtful, somebody who is selfish. The Page of Swords is not an energy that is necessarily like admirable or reputable or even mature. Okay, it's kind of somebody who's a little bit immature. So when I see the way that these two are showing up, you know, they're showing up, both of them here in this reverse position, this not heading out in a direction that you can find. This King of Swords, you know, if this page is blocking that forward progress, like their energy is so stressful to you that it's really clouding even your vision of your future. Like this just has to be attended to. All right. I don't know if you ever read The Alchemist, but like this has that green emerald. The secret of life is being carried by this bird right here. Like there's so much symbolism in this about being an alchemist, about finding your way on your journey and like removing this page of swords from your life so that you can continue on because you have so much ahead of you. All right. And it's just holding you back. It's holding you back from moving forward. It's making you feel helpless. It's making you feel like, you know, you don't have what it takes to do things the way that, you know, to have your life be what you want it to be. So I think with this Mercury retrograde, you're going to be seeing a transition in a relationship. And if it's not the outward relationship where the relationship itself isn't changing, it's going to be inside yourself. It's going to be with your self-esteem. It's going to be with your sense of empowerment. It's going to be with using your voice. All right. Use your voice. Speak your truth. Definitely. I hope that you've written all of this down, and I hope that you revisit it every single day to be strong as the days, you know, go on and you're confronted with situations or conversations or feelings. You are not a damsel in distress. You will be provided solutions by spirit if you pray for it and you do the inner work. If you are done with subpar treatment, then be done with subpar treatment. Okay. You got angel message, your garden is a healing place. Seek refuge to heal your soul. So be outdoors, all right? If this stresses you out and this is upsetting for you, which I'm sure that it is, nobody likes to hear like this type of a reading. The truth is, though, we do need to hear it. When we're in this type of a situation, we need to hear it, right? Because that's how we evolve out of it. That's how we get our power back. Your garden is a place that will heal your soul. So that means if you love to garden, awesome. And if you're not a gardener, get out in nature. All right. Go be outside, take walks, go in the woods, you know, go buy some new plants for your bedroom. Like do something that involves nature because that is going to bring a healing vibration around you. That's going to help you ground yourself and be centered so that you can have clarity of mind as you do the self-reflection that's being called for in this reading. All right. This is not easy. And I totally understand that. But you're going to get through it. Totally. All right. And I'm just going to pull one more tarot for that 4 of coins that I had wanted to get clarity on. All right. And we have the Magician coming through for the 4 of coins. Okay. But the Magician came through reversed. So that 4 of coins heading in a new direction. The Magician works with spirit to co-create what they want. All right. So the Magician, is using all of his tools, the swords, the cups, the wands, and the coins. And notice that bottom, you know, there's a snake at his feet shedding its skin. This is a transformation card. This is stepping into power. Okay. In order to access that power, though, as you set out on your own, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You can't let self-doubt hold you back, okay? Because if you let self-doubt hold you back in this situation, you're going to be forever a damsel in distress. All right? So that is something you just have to work through, that self-confidence, that belief in yourself, that you are worthy and you are capable of a much healthier relationship that does not bring you such sadness and stress, okay? Your spirit team is with you. Refer back to these notes every day. Journal about them, do whatever you need to do to lift yourself up, and just know that you're not alone, right? As you go through this transition and you're working through this moment, you're never alone. All right. You are surrounded by angels who love you, and you are going to come out on the other side of this when Mercury retrograde is over. I'd be interested to see where your mind is at. I think you're going to, 3 weeks is going to really do a lot to grow you and change you and end it in a way where I think you're going to feel way more empowered, which is a really good thing. Okay. That's what you deserve. So I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe, tune in for future readings coming up, and good luck to you. Bye-bye.